And y equals x squared is the most basic quadratic function. Y equals x squared is the parent function. Y equals x squared is our parent function. It's the most basic. There's no simpler way to write a quadratic function. Remember, you could also write, instead of the variable y, you could put f of x equals x squared. Both are the same. So we're going to start off by graphing our parent function. This is what we're going to compare everything to. It's our original. The parent function is the most basic function. All right, flip it up. Here's where we're going to show our work. I'm going to rewrite it y equals x squared just so we have it to look at. And the first step is negative b over 2a. Find the axis of symmetry. Negative b over 2a. So looking at the parent function, y equals x squared, what's my negative b? What's my b value in y equals x squared? Ian? There is none. There's no x by itself, right? So I'm going to use 0. Negative 0. The opposite of 0. What's the opposite of 0? 0. Over 2 times, what's my a value? 1. How do you know it's not a 0? Because if it was a 0 x squared, it wouldn't be there. Since it is there, it's a value of 1. So I would then take my calculator and simplify, or you can do it mentally, negative 0 over 2 times 1. 0. So that's my axis of symmetry. What do you do with the axis of symmetry? How do you graph the axis of symmetry? A vertical line at 0. So x equals 0 is right in the middle. Here's my axis of symmetry. First step, draw your axis of symmetry. Second step, substitute your axis of symmetry into the original problem. Y equals, instead of x squared, y equals 0 squared. Instead of x, I substitute my axis of symmetry. So what does y equal?
0.
Yeah, 0 squared is 0. So what does that mean? I combine them to make my vertex. 0, 0. Am I done? Now I pick 2 values. The first value I'm going to pick is 1 to the left. So 1 space to the left is negative 1. So instead of x, I'm going to put in negative 1 into my original function. Y equals negative 1 squared. What does y equal? 1. So I combine those 2 values to make the ordered pair what? Negative 1, comma 1. negative 1, positive 1. Because my x value was negative 1. That's what I substituted. Step 4. Instead of going 1 space to the left, I'm going to go 2 spaces to the left. So that means x equals negative 2. So I substitute. What's negative 2 squared? So my ordered pair is negative 2, 4. There are 5 steps. We've only done 4. What's the last step? Reflect and connect. So if this dot ordered pair is 1 space away to the left, it needs to be 1 space away to the right. If this spot is 2 spaces away to the left, it needs to be 2 spaces away to the right. Do my lines go straight up? Nope, they've got a little bit of a curve to them. And this is the parent function. This is what all functions, quadratic functions, start out as. And we change them as they go. This is the basic beginning function. Your homework tonight is to graph 4 other functions. Here they are. On this graph, you're going to put y equals 1/2 x squared. On this graph, you're going to put y equals 3x squared. And you're going to see what happens. How does this, putting a 1/2, my a value, instead of 1, my a value is 1/2. My a value gets smaller. What happens from the parent function to this function? I don't know, does it? You'll have to see. Then we look at this. This one is 3. My a value, instead of 1, my a value is now 3. What happens from the parent function to this one? You're going to graph it to see what, changing the a value, what does it do to my function? Then you're going to grab your 2 guy, and y equals x squared. That's your parent function. But this time we're going to subtract 4. What's that going to do to my function? You're going to do y squared, oops, not y squared, y equals x squared, parent function, but you're going to add 3. What does it do? So you're looking, we're changing, we're starting with the basic function right here. That's not yours. This one is. We're starting with the basic function here, that parent function. What does these changes, what does it do? What do these changes do to it? How do these numbers affect your function? We can start this one together. Someone still need this? Got it? All right. Y equals 1/2 x squared. What do we always start with? Negative b over 2a. Every single time. Whenever you're graphing a quadratic, that's where you begin. So what's negative b? What's your b value? 0. over 2 times a. 2, what's your a value? Ian? Negative 0. Over 2 times 1/2. So what's my axis? 0. All right, so that didn't change. That's the same. My axis of symmetry is the same. That 1/2 does not affect the axis of symmetry. Step 2 is to take your axis of symmetry and substitute it into the original problem. So y equals 1/2, and instead of the x value, I'm going to put 0. 0 squared is 0 times 1/2. Does it affect the vertex? No. I have 0, 0 still. Then I'm going to pick a number, -1, and I substitute. Then you pick another number and substitute, reflect and connect. You're looking to see what changes happen.